I'm parked up on a vista point. It's one of the only places in the state that has a covered bridge. It's also notable for Mark Twain, and the old wagon shop isn't in today, so a lot of honeymooners will come up here and stay at the inn. There's not a lot remaining. You know, you have some stone ruins from the general stores and saloons and minor cabins. The silver boom started in 1861, and what happened was there's a lot of Confederate sympathizers, but Nevada during the Civil War was a very Union-orientated state. All the silver that they mined and minerals went to the Union, not the Confederates. So it was called Dixie, and eventually it was named Unionville. Despite the name and the conflict of the Confederate sympathizers and the Union sympathizers, this was one of the only towns that had the least amount of violence, such as shootouts, robberies. It was not a lawless town. People were pretty much behaved in it. And I have a lot more history I'm going to be going over, and if I throw all my cards into one video, I'll have nothing to talk about when I get there. But there is a cemetery. The schoolhouse is the most beautiful sight besides the covered bridge. Downtown really is cool, a bunch of wood structures. The town is surrounded by the Humboldt Mountain Range, which we're traversing right now. We're heading northeast, but the Humboldt is to our left. And then to the right is the Stillwater Mountain Range. It has to be, because if you go southwest, you hit Joe Peak, which is part of the Stillwater Range, and then north of that's Granite Peak, which overshadows Unionville. So this is the Humboldt Range straight ahead. When I come around this bend, these mountains here, that's the Stillwater Mountain Range, and nestled in between is Unionville. And this town has a cemetery, a lot of different ruins, some cabins. There's the relic mines. They call it the relic mines, but I believe that I'll have to look into my history again, because the largest silver mine in this area, which produced 3 million in silver, just resides above the town itself. And I want to check out the old mining equipment and tailings and things like that. But we're almost at the town site. We'll see what we can find. Main Street goes all the way to the covered bridge and in this little narrow canyon. Actually, the name of the canyon is called Buena Vista. And Mark Twain described this place as being dark, or a dreary town, because in the morning the sun just barely touches the top of these peaks and mountains, and so the town doesn't get a lot of light until around this time. Now, this is a free range, so the cattle roam. I took some photos of some cattle on my way in, and I believe the town is straight ahead. This is a little bit creepy here. Anytime I pass a place with a bunch of, I don't know, that's just tires. That looks like tires or plastic. But sometimes you come across certain places and you'll see like 100 cars parked, just like rusted cars, and you think, huh? I don't know. Is there a road that goes out? There is a cemetery down a diagonal road, but...
Oh, there's no gravestones there, though.
Let me zoom on in.
Looks like a pasture.
It's a corral. Cemetery, there's 3 diagonal roads that go into Unionville to Main Street, and the one road has a cemetery and some old stone foundations. We'll be back with more footage. when I pull up on the town, I will shut this video off. I just kind of want to show you. I believe that's Thunder Mountain right there. Just to make one quick note, Thunder Mountain is one of the tallest peaks in the Humboldt Range. I thought there would be more snow on it. Usually this time of year, it's covered down to the bottom with snow, but we've had a lot of drought, a lot of high temperatures, so no snow. And I can see Unionville, I believe, up ahead. I see a bunch of things. And if you look, you can see the cottonwoods. That's generally a sign there's a creek back in there. And I think I see the creek. We'll see what we can find. It might just be the external part of Unionville, or the rural area of Unionville, but that does not look like downtown. The road's pretty good. Don't have a lot of debris or rocks. It's mainly all sandy. I'll tell you what, during a good winter storm though, this road's inaccessible. They don't have snowplows that come back through here. It's a very interesting town. Like I say, it'll be on our left-hand side. It goes right up to the Humboldt Mountain Range. And it'll be those 2 or 3 roads to the left, and they contain different parts of the town. Of course, you have to be careful. I see a bunch of mounds, which means there has been pit mining. Drilling operation, open excavation. Well, we definitely don't want to go there, huh? So it looks like they're doing some mining out here, but we're not on the town site. What is that? Garbage? Yeah.
Tree.
Yeah, this is a mining area. This is not Unionville. We're not at Buena Vista Canyon yet. We'll get there. It says when you... Huh?
Over there.
Huh. Well, the creek is definitely what keeps this area green. No, this area is also being hit by drought. According to my maps, it says this is a 9-mile dirt road. That's not Unionville. That's just some drilling operation. Because you'll be able to see there's structures, there's an inn or a hotel. You'll know you're there. And yes, Tammy is right. It is running dry. There's a little water. Let's see if I can get out and get a picture, but it's trickling. You're gonna see this in the Sierras a lot when I take you guys hiking this year. On video, you'll notice that the creeks will be much lower. There won't be waterfalls or anything like that. Cottonwood trees, which are very common out here. It's very green in the spring. Butterflies, wildflowers. Oh yeah. Yeah, but as you can see, it's just barely trickling. And the water is almost stagnant. When they built the town, they kind of figured at that time there was no drought, so they had a fresh water source for the mines and the people. I bet you they didn't ever see it becoming as dry as it is today. Back then, this was probably rapids coming through here. Because in the 1800s, these mountains used to get snow top to bottom. And that snow would stay up there till July, at least as late as June. And so you could actually store the water and harness it. Here's a nice pretty view we're coming up on. You can see, look at that. That's down into the basin right there. I promised my buddy when I go here I'd take some good video footage and some photos. And I know you as viewers, you tend to like these little clips I do of off-roading or exploring. And some people are like, wow, your coordination's so good. You talk about history and hike and drive and do all these things. It's important to be thorough in our work and to be able to let people enjoy these ghost towns in another whole light, so that they can see them more in depth. And the only way to do that is to explore and off-road and go out to places people don't generally get to see or go. Just doing it on up. Of course, I'm trying to take photos, so if there's any breaks in my video when I put them all together, that's why. Because I'm trying to make sure I get some good scenic photography out here, because I've been told by friends if I go here, I really would like the scenery. The town site should be up ahead. Should be. You really can't miss it. Now, I'm pretty much fascinated with ghost towns myself. Some of them have decent mines to explore. Some of those mines are haunted. You never know what you might find coming through an area like this. You have to keep in mind that there's still residents in Unionville. However, it's a semi-ghost town. Some people refer to it as a hamlet. There's a pool of water. So see how green that is? There's an old fence post. These are all from the, there used to be a lot of, well, there is a lot of ranching and agriculture, because when the mining stopped, they decided instead of silver mining, since the veins had ran out, what they would do is start cattle ranching and agriculture. It's what kept Unionville alive. If there was no agriculture out here, then this town would have died a long time ago. I don't know where these roads lead. I see pallets and all that, but and 2 wood posts, but that's not the town. Wow, look at this basin. That might be Unionville out there. You see that way out there? I don't know though. It's hard telling when you're in a wilderness like that. That's Star Peak right there. I seriously hope we didn't pass our town site. You think they'd have more labels and more. Is that salt or is that water way out there? I've only seen one sign to Unionville, and you're supposed to be able to take. I mean, there's wild horses out there. Let's see if I can zoom in on them. You see them? That's Star Peak. We've done Star City. I think we went too far maybe, but I don't know. Oh yeah. So I showed you guys some wild horses. They're out there roaming near Star Peak, which I believe that's Star Peak. I've been about a few hundred feet below the peak, because I drove all the way to the top of that Star Peak. And that's where the Sheba mine is located, which is haunted, by the way. And Star City's a 7-mile road to get there, and not much is left of it. But imagine if you lived out here in Unionville, if you wanted to go get supplies from another town, it would be a good day's journey to get from one place to the next. It's very mountainous. That's the Humboldt Mountain Range. The town's supposed to be right underneath. If it doesn't cut to the, if there's no road that cuts to the left, then we're not going the right way. It's back there. But it shouldn't be where the drilling operation is, because I looked on Google Maps and there's some nice houses on Main Street. But it goes up into where it's near that creek, I'm telling you. We'll see up here. I just don't want to end up taking us to the highway. That would suck.
Oh no, it's just a ground.
I don't think I keep straight.
No.
Might be the Stillwater Range right there, and then this is definitely the Humboldt Range. You can see there's a little bit of snow. We're going north. That does not seem right. We'll be back at you with more footage. This is Lord Rick. And in the meantime, check us out, www.paranormalghostsociety.org. We're closing in on Unionville. At least what's left of it. It's an old bed springs all twisted and mangled. A miner could have slept on that. Find things like that when you're looking for ghost towns just scattered out in the middle of the desert. It's pretty cool. It's what we're here to do, is explore. One way or another, we'll find it.